I'm Simon Hall, grassroots referee, looking at the weekend's football. Because let's face it, as a grassroots ref, we ain't getting out there. But we will be back, and the season's going to be extended, and then everything's going to be all right. Okay, so optimism at the highest order. The weekend, West Brom travelled to Wolves, and that was overseen by Michael Oliver, who had two penalty decisions and a dive. Penalty decisions were spot on, in my opinion. And one of those in particular is a really good learning curve for people to understand that the line around the penalty area is part of the penalty area. Okay, so that was really good. We've had a couple of them this season. So hopefully people will be learning from that. The other one was to spot the dive. This was a great spot, and his positioning. I think Michael Oliver's positioning is getting better. I really do. He seems to be getting some really, really good angles, be able to watch the players with ease. And it was a really, really easy spot for him. So that I particularly liked. A couple of things I wanted to pick up on the weekend. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my screen, because this particular thing I just wanted to point out in one of the games. So if you just bear with me whilst it loads up, and I share my screen. So share that one. Okay. Now this game, this was Leicester Southampton, and so the Leicester Southampton game. Okay, and you can see that now. Can you see that this is Eddie Smart, the assistant here? Have you noticed how he's not on the line? Okay, so it's really important this. He's not on the line. What it is when it's directly below you as an assistant. So if you're an assistant referee and they're coming down, and at the beginning when you're first learning how to be an assistant, you very much cling to that line. Okay, if you look here, Eddie's took here probably 1.5 meters back step, and what it's allowing him to do now is see actually across the pitch for any offsides. He's right underneath, and he's got a better chance of seeing a foul. Because the fouls that are underneath you, directly underneath you, they are the hardest to see and spot. And on here, you can see what Eddie's actually doing, how he's took the step back, and he's got a really good view across the whole line. So you can actually see it on his head there that he is looking up, which is really good. This one on here, so I'm just going to go through a few on here. We mentioned about the line in the Michael Oliver penalty. Well, this is Chris Kavanagh. Okay. Firstly, note his position. All right. He couldn't be any better placed. You know, he's just outside the range of the penalty area, probably about 1/2 meter, 1 meter there, which means he's looking straight down that line, whether that foul is in the area or out of the area. And as we saw on replays, he was absolutely spot on. Okay, so that particular positioning by Chris Kavanagh was pretty fantastic. Okay, so for those who like to stay more central in the game, I would class that as central because it's the edge of the box. But he has just come slightly wider. So when you hear people about getting a bit of width in the game, these are the advantages of that. Okay. This particular one on here that I wanted to show, because there was a melee. Now this is Kevin Friend. Now Kevin Friend. Now I saw Michael Oliver do this, and I've seen now Kevin Friend do it, and they're very, very flat-footed and firmly down. And I always worry about that a little bit. You need to spring from the balls of your feet to move left or to move right. Well, he actually has done this here. This is the end bit that he's actually moved one particular way. So if I show you there, okay, can you see how he's looking through the players? So we've got him looking all the way through how many players. He's got no clear sight of the ball there. And that's what I'm saying about the flat-footed part of it. I'd rather him have been a bit lighter on his feet, but at the end of the day, as soon as he spots that, he's off to the side to get a better angle, okay? So when you're on the edge of the area, be ready to move left or right. Do not allow people to block your view from the ball. Literally, you need to be able to see everything that's going on in and around that ball. And we know when commentators say, oh, that's happened off the ball and stuff. Yeah, we know where we're looking. Okay, we know where we're looking and we know what we want to look at. So a little thing there for you is to that little bit of lightness, and then like as you can see there nicely. So we go back to that one. He's looking through there, and then he shifts himself across. He's only going to cross about literally four side steps. Okay, but look at the difference in the angle that he's going to get. Okay, so I thought that it was a really good thing for Kevin to actually see him doing that. Okay, this particular one I wanted to show you because this is the Leicester second goal against Southampton, and that's Stuart Atwell in the bottom corner. Now, this is an advantage to goal. Okay, so the foul actually happened in the opposite box, half of the field, and he's carried on a diagonal. Now, if you watch this on Match of the Day, you actually go back and watch this. Look at his positioning when he plays the advantage. Now, a lot of people will automatically follow that in straight in because of the way it becomes quite a narrow play. But Stuart doesn't. He's carrying on and he's diagonal towards the edge of that box. He runs into the box and that run carries on and he's into the box. So he's in there. Now, going back to what you've just seen with Kevin Friend, I've noticed with Kevin tends to stop on the edge of the area. He seems to be comfy 2 or 3 yards outside the area, but getting an angle. Whereas the likes of Stuart, Michael Oliver, Craig Pawson, you'll find that they'll run into the box. They'll go in the box to get their best angle. Chris Kavanagh's a great example of that. And I'm also going to mention in the Championship, Matt Donoghue from over at Stockport. He's very, very good at this, very good at getting in there and making sure he gets the best angles for him to make the best decision. Okay. So some really good things to look out for there on Match of the Day. Same game, first goal, they were a foul. Okay, but it's a proper, in my opinion, was it a foul or was it just a case of, one was stronger than the other? Okay, because I watched this and I've watched it a couple of times, and in modern football, I would say, unfortunately, that would probably be a foul. I also think it's a case of looking at it properly and saying, do you know what? No, he's not really got hold of him. Okay, but he is pulling. I suppose he is that on that particular picture. You can see his hands underneath, and it is almost that he's trying to spin him round. And people are saying, was he too honest to stay on his feet? Because if he goes down, he gets a free kick. So, as a question for referees, have we caused that? In the area, people not going, those that don't go down, but there's a little clip of the heels in the field, do we not give the penalty? Because it is a foul. So it's like something for question for referees out there. Are we not giving everything that we should? Okay. We know we like to let the game play. Okay, we know that. But it is a question for referees on there. Those little niggles, those little tiny fouls, especially when they happen in the area, should the player go down? Okay, and I don't mean dive because I want to come back to the diving bit. Let me just stop that share. Okay, I want to come back to the diving bit because I can't remember which game it was, and I'm really, really trying to rack it in. I've not wrote it down. And there was Mope. I've got it. It was Mope. Doesn't get the penalty, and play goes off. I think VAR was Craig Pawson. He obviously comes through and goes, that was no penalty. But they don't go back and give the card. So I'm asking for the more experienced referees, even more experienced than me, to say, is it because there was the lightest of contact that doesn't become a yellow? Because the bit I can't work out is the fact he throws himself to the ground trying to deceive the referee. Bearing in mind what I've just said about a little niggle or anything and going to the ground. So we're on really dangerous ground here. I really do. I think we're on quite dangerous ground of which way do we go, because we're not doing retrospective anymore on diving. And that's a real shame. I believe it's still there. I believe we still can, but it's not happening. So that's a bit of a concern. The last bit I just want to finish off on. Okay, so it's a straightforward thing, and it's a game. Okay, because if you've noticed in the Premier League and all the other divisions, okay, the fourth official, it's cold, so they've got a hat on, they've got a mask on correctly, and you've only got the eyes. Is there anybody else out there playing guess the fourth official? It's easy if you know the actual, if you've looked at the appointments and stuff, but just out of curiosity, is it just me or is it everybody else? But I'm going to leave you there. There's a few things there, a few tips and stuff. Hope it's been worth your while. Please put a comment in the box. If you're just watching it, put in there, watch. It'd be really, really good. Hashtag watch, hashtag replay. It doesn't matter. Just put something in there just to let me know that you've watched it and anything else that you'd like to see, hear about in the future. All right. So I'm Sam Hull, grassroots referee from Steel City RA. Hoping I've given you some useful information. Thank you.